Now, I know Mr. Santorum is the one who defeated, I think, is Spectre in Pennsylvania, if I'm correct. And he's a military person, and he served the country well and so on, veteran, etc. And I think that, for that alone, he ought to be sort of complimented and be given every consideration possible. But I think now that he's running for president, we need to put aside the military and don't involve the military in this. Now, he's a kind of avid religious person, and I'm not sure if I understand this, Mr. Santorum. I don't know his education. I would suspect that I hope that he has a college degree, and maybe he was an attorney. I'm not sure what he did educationally, and I should have done some research in that, but it's not. It doesn't make a difference anyway, because the way he's speaking is that he doesn't understand history. Now, for being a very educated man and talking like that, that's kind of funny. Especially here where Islam's John F. Kennedy separation of church and state. This is not John F. Kennedy's forte. This is the Constitution. The Constitution outlines that there should be a separation of church and state, and especially since the Constitution was written just after the Reformation in Europe and so on, and we saw what was happening in Europe, and the church and state were together. You had persecution if you don't share orthodoxy. We see a whole bunch of atrocities and evil and so on that happened in Europe, and the founding fathers thought it wise to avoid similar experiences here in America by making it that the state will not have a church, because in the Caribbean, where I come from, many states, the official church in the state is Catholicism, is Catholics or Anglican, and that says a lot, because things could be done, you could get things done if you belong to the church, and they could lobby for you and things like that. But America decided not to have the Church of America. And so when Mr. Santorum was talking about Satan and challenging people to, a religious war, I mean, I don't see this election here as being anything religious. Now, I know that, of course, the psychic Nostradamus and the pagans, the Mayans, had a lot to say about 2012, but that's as far as religion is concerned. I think religion, you see, long ago we heard that religion and politics are two things you don't discuss in public, because they're private and they lend to a bunch of animosity, etc. Now, I must compliment the president for avoiding any of these discussions so far. I mean, he talks about his personal faith, and I think that's fine. But when you're trying to argue with somebody about religion and all that stuff, it only can be divisive. Now, from my studies, etc., I understand the Catholic Church objectives and role and the whole nine yards. And we've always been looking at how lenient it is to be a Catholic. Once you're Catholic, you're always a Catholic, because they needed numbers. Long time they have this plan that if they could be seen as the major church or as the one with the most following, then they have some run on something. I'm not going to get into that here. And so the president they're saying that this election can be made or lost, can be won or lost with the Catholic vote. So that Mr. Santorum now is trying to distinguish himself as a Catholic. And if anybody tries to discredit him, then they're going to be the enemy, or the Protestants. So you see, we're heading back straight into the Middle Ages here with this kind of argument between the Reformation and the Protestants and Catholics and all that. And Mr. Santorum thinks that he's going to win out of that. But, look at what happened in the Middle East there. The UN is trying to get sanctions on Syria and perhaps Iran. And Russia and China are sort of opposing it. Now, you wouldn't expect that they would be the ones opposing it, because the whole world right now, I think that the New World Order and Antichrist and others have everybody that is important in their grip. They have somebody right there to tell them what's up. And for Russia, which might have been a part of the Soviet Union, which was a part of the Antichrist strategy in bringing terror into the world, and for also China for being a kind of communist, socialist, whatever it is. I mean, the enemy had that sort of as the West he was trying to win. So now when they now are going to be opposing what he wants to happen, because you see, I believe that he wants the America and others to go into the Middle East there and doing crusades like George Bush and end up in another 10-15 year war, $4, $5, $6 trillion and bankrupt the whole world and the country. So that just goes to show that although they control the whole world, yet you still have the world dividing into various areas, so that you don't have this total sort of ability to do what you want, as it were. And this is a testament to God, because God says that if you are friends of His, He could even make your enemy agreeable with you. Okay, and when they poison you, He could also neutralize it. He could take it out. They're coming to shoot you, and He could make something happen that they can't connect. Or when they show up to shoot you, to see somebody stand over there look like the police, or to see something like a police car over there, and say, "Oops, we can't do that today." But in actual fact, it's God that is creating that sort of illusion to protect His children. And so I think that the only thing should come into this is that we should call Santorum Saint Santorum. We sainthood him straight up, because I think he should be a priest instead of trying to be a president. And maybe I won't get into the Kennedy assassination, the whole 9 yards like that, but it looks as if he opposing Kennedy's stance, because I better don't go there. But anyway, so the president is wise not to engage him in any of this religious talk. And then when they have in a debate, if he happens to be the candidate, in fact, he and Mitt Romney are talking religion. Not necessarily as a personal thing, but they want to make this like the theme and the discussion and the campaign and the whole 9 yards. And I think this is going to be very ugly. So the president is right to avoid it. And I tell you what, I'm going to make a video on that. I believe this president has been chosen by God to, I'm going to make a video on that to be the president of the United States at this point in time. Because hadn't he been the president's place would have collapsed, the whole world would have been ended, everything. But then God says that He has children who need to be solidified in His fold, and then He's going to bring on the end. So while that is happening, He's allowing peace to reign a little bit. And I'm not sure if the job is done, but it seems as if the job is unfinished. Obama, unfortunately, could only have 2 terms. I wish he could have like 40 terms, so that we could have continued peace and progress for the rest of his life. But he just has 1 more term that he officially can be elected to, and I do hope that he gets elected so we could have some more peace, because I think I'm a saint. I think I'm one of God's children, but I'm not ready yet, and I need to get ready, and another 4 years would be great. We could get ready and be ready and all that stuff. So Mr. Saint Santorum, please take religion out of this thing here, because it's going to get very ugly.